Papa, can you hear me? I don't know anything past that though.
Papa, can you hear me now? Papa.
Welcome back to another episode of SHOWGAYS, a cinemusical podcast. We are talking about a movie musical this week for sure. People are singing. One character is soliloquizing everything they're singing.
I don't think we've watched a movie with this kind of setup for the music before.
I can't even think of another movie that does this.
I mean, like, the Doris Day one we watched, she was the only one that was singing. Or, like, I mean, I guess, like, Madonna, too, and Dick Tracy, but those aren't movie musicals, so.
Right. And we're back with a second episode in a row of Mandy Patinkin. Mandy Patinkin.
It's Mandy Patinkin month at SHOWGAYS.
But how is everyone doing? How are we today, girly pops? We all survived the Rapture.
Yes, Molly, congrats.
Was it the Rapture?
Yeah, you missed it on Tuesday. It was the Rapture.
I'm so glad to not be on social media, so I don't know about things like the Rapture. How did it go?
It was crazy, Molly. It was crazy.
Girl, people were selling their cars. They were quitting their jobs.
Yes.
Who was the predictor, or like what sect was predicting it?
Great question. A South African pastor was the first guy to be like, it's September 23rd, 2025.
But South African time?
Who knows? So over the past month, it's been slowly ramping up.
And Adam's been getting both the earnest people who are preparing for it and the people obviously that
are making fun of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. And so there wasn't just one denomination, it's just all the evangelicals maybe that are
all
the sects that are very
all the sects that believe in the Rapture. Because I'm Protestant, but Episcopalians do not endorse Rapture doctrine. That's not our ministry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Literal
Same
ministry.
as Catholics.
I think Catholics believe in a second coming, but not a rapture.
No.
You believe you believe in Armageddon.
The
the apocrypha.
There's going to be Jesus will come back and there will be kind of a resetting when that happens, but not just whoop into the sky type of situation.
Yes.
And it's also very emphasized in Catholicism of you will not know when it will happen and there is no reason to try to predict it. And so we're not going to talk about it, as opposed to other sects that are all we're going to talk about is the end times.
Yeah. Because there'll be beasts with multiple heads that'll also appear. Angels will come down with swords. It's a whole ordeal. So.
It's a whole thing. That's what I do find a little confusing about Rapture ideology is stuff that they say is going to happen sounds dramatic enough that I'm I don't feel I need to be on edge. I think I'll know. I think I might have time to quickly convert at that time. I think I'll notice the beats.
Say a little prayer to be hey, sorry about all of the,
Sorry about the sins.
Sorry about the sins.
In my yeshiva this week of learning about the Rapture.
Not quite right, but yes, okay.
I learned that there are two types of Rapture ideologies.
Okay.
And the one that was this week was people who believe in pre-tribulation rapture. So the rapture before everything goes to hell.
Okay.
So you didn't need all the actual happenings of what was going on for it to be bad to believe in God. You already had been I believe in Jesus, the whole thing.
Oh, okay. I think I heard that, and that's why you get whooped up to the
first.
sky, is so that you don't have to be
you get to
there for
avoid.
That.
Oh, and then everyone comes back down, and then there's another one.
Oh, it's pre-check.
It's TSA pre-check.
TSA pre-check for the Rapture.
Yep. It's global entry.
It's
literal
global entry. Just
literal global.
We just gotta check.
Global entry, global exit. More you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, it didn't happen. That's the point of what I was talking about. But Molly, it sounds like you really know a lot about Catholicism. It sounds like you've maybe learned about your theology, which really takes us right into what we're going to talk about today.
Sure, because I'm a woman and I learned about religion.
Yes, exactly. Did we have any emails? Probably not.
We did. We did.
We received some doctrine.
We received some doctrine from on high. Lucas, thank you, Lucas, wrote in, look, I know y'all plan your season too far in advance for any kind of spontaneity, but Kiss of the Spider-Woman comes out on October 10th with SHOWGAYS alum J-Lo and Star Wars star Diego Luna. I do love Andor. That's a great show. I know going to the movies is hard, expensive, and sucks most of the time, but you three did it for The Color Purple, Mean Girls, and Wicked. We also did it for West Side Story. Do it for Jennifer. Lord knows she needs the support.
Damn.
Also, Kiss of the Spider-Woman is a musical with an actual LGBTQ theme and real gay characters. Finally, it would provide a great opportunity to discuss the use of diegetic and non-diegetic music in the film adaptation. Have a lovely day. Can't wait for the Dick Tracy app. This got sent before that it came out.
Not just the made-up LGBT stuff that you guys bring up in movie musicals.
Correct.
Yeah, this one's like a made-up LGBTQ movie that we're about to talk about. So,
yeah.
Great.
Well, listen, that's an idea.
It's an idea. I did see the trailer. The trailer looks real good.
There's no such thing as a bad idea in a brainstorm, Lucas. And we've always said that.
That's very true. I will be on my honeymoon on October 10th, so I'm not going to go see Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
I thought you were planning your honeymoon around Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
No, that wasn't.
I thought you planned
part
it
of the plan.
just so you could go every day during your honeymoon. You could go see Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
Wow. What an idea.
You know, and add an idea to the brainstorm.
You know, it's a brainstorming session.
No ideas. Well, actually, I thought you were expediting your wedding because of you were actually marrying for your friend, because I was trying to connect it to Yentl. The quick wedding.
I thought that you were trying to do like what was the J-Lo movie that we watched? What was it called?
You were marrying your fiance so quickly because your friend asked you to marry him for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
And you're actually not you.
You're Yentl.
You're Yentl. Great.
Woo.
Well, Lucas, that's an idea. You never know. You never know.
You never know.
You truly never know.
You just never effing know.
But Molly, you are tasked this week with summarizing the plot of 1983's Yentl, directed by Barbra Streisand, in a minute or less, and your time starts now.
Yentl lives in a shtetl in Eastern Europe where it is forbidden for women to study, but her scholarly father allows her to secretly study the Talmud by night. When her father dies, she dresses as a boy and is accepted to a yeshiva, or a rabbinical school, under the name of Anshel. She is taken under the wing of Avigdor, who says Anshel reminds him of his younger brother. Avigdor introduces Anshel to his fiancée Hadass and her family. Yentl slowly falls in love with Avigdor. Hadass's father finds out that Avigdor's younger brother died by suicide and as a result bans him from marrying Hadass. Avigdor convinces Anshel to marry Hadass in his stead, convinces the only way to stay close to Hadass. After initially refusing, Yentl gives in to stay close to Avigdor. Yentl manages to avoid consummating the marriage, but grows close with Hadass and begins to teach her the Talmud. This relationship convinces Yentl she must confess her feelings to Avigdor, and she comes clean to him. He's initially furious, but eventually softens and admits his attraction to Anshel. Avigdor wants to marry Yentl, but keep her studies secret. She rejects this and instead sails to America, where she can study freely, and we see Hadass and Avigdor back together.
Ooh.
Great job.
Thank you.
I think that's it. I think you got it. I don't have a single note.
Wow,
I don't either.
thank you.
Wow.
I may have some questions just about the plot and maybe
terms.
Terms, yes. Maybe some what is the word? Like motivations for some of the characters, but we'll get
Yes, I would like to talk about that as well. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I suggest this movie, so I'm going to go first.
Go ahead.
I've never seen this. I'm a huge Barbra Streisand fan. As I've talked about on this podcast, I've never seen this. My only connection with this movie, literally, is I love the 80s that was on VH1 because in the 1983 episode, they have like a section where they talk about this. And they obviously the whole point of the VH1 series, I love the whatever decade they were talking about. It was just like comedians riffing on funny stuff in pop culture. So just a lot of jokes, but I've never seen it. I didn't know. I just knew it was a musical. Period. The end. And then the only other thing I knew was somehow I had like ingested that Mandy Patinkin and Barbra Streisand had a very contentious relationship on the set of this film.
Oh, okay.
But you couldn't remember like when.
And I looked it up a little bit. It's not actually not as exciting as I thought it was going to be, but I'll talk about it when we get to it. But yes, that's all I knew about this movie. I mean, I knew that she dresses up as a boy. But that's truly it. RJ?
I heard of this movie probably the same way too with like the I Love the 80s series, but primarily from our Adam and I and Molly's our friend from college, Martin, who was a huge Barbra-phile.
He was, yeah.
Literally knew every single thing about Barbra Streisand. And I kind of knew that Yentl was like a movie that she had written and directed, and it was like her own like project, and like was like I also kind of knew like through osmosis in pop culture that like this was considered like a snub in Oscars because wasn't she nominated for Best Director, or like she was snubbed of a nomination, something like that?
She was not nominated for Best Director at the Oscars, but she won the Golden Globe for Best Director.
Okay, that's what it was. So like there was something about
and
that.
Steven Spielberg at the time said this was the greatest directorial debut since Citizen Kane.
Wow. Citizen Barbara, honey.
So.
Citizen Streisand. And then I also am remembering, I can't remember if it was a TV show, if it was like a sketch comedy or whatever, but there was a movie or something that I watched where the character, like I'm assuming was like a queer son or like a queer child, like being down on the dumps at home, and the mom is like, do you want me to put on the Yentl? And like the kid like nods yes, and they like watch the scene of her singing Papa Can You Hear Me Together.
Oh, but it's like a joke?
But it's like either a joke, a bit, a sketch or something. I was trying to figure it out.
I remember
but there was something. So if anyone's if anyone knows what that reference is, please let me know. So that's what I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like a thing of like, it's this like Broadway, like this diva kind of like making, and it's a movie that stars her and it is her. And so like, I kind of always just related to it as like, it's a very kind of gay thing to get into.
Listen, reading the IMDb trivia page, I could tell when a gay man wrote the factoid. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But
this feels like there's a gay man with a Yentl coffee book and like a record playing in a living room right now. You know what I mean?
Great.
Yeah.
Molly?
I had never seen this and didn't even have as much context as the two of you. I do think maybe, RJ, whatever you're referencing, I might have seen too, because the only thing I knew about this was I had heard the Papa Can You Hear Me? But that was like that. I was aware of it as like a thing that got made fun of a lot.
Yeah.
And I think in my mind, it was more of a like overly earnest musical theater girl. Like I think the joke is like, oh, hearing someone start that as their audition and being like, oh no, here we go. That is the only thing that I was aware of. I think I got Yentl confused with Yenta, the character from Fiddler on the Roof.
From Fiddler, yep.
I think I maybe knew that Barbra Streisand was in it. I didn't know she directed it. I didn't know Mandy Patinkin was in it. I didn't know anything else about it. I didn't know she dressed up as a boy. I think
so you went in
cold. I think Adam told me the fact that she was going to dress as a boy maybe in the planning meeting, but otherwise I would not have known at all what the plot was.
Wow.
You also might know, I guess I was reading on Letterboxd, somebody had a review where they said the only thing they knew about this movie was that in an episode of The Simpsons, Homer is like sick and he watches this movie and thinks it's incredible. But the joke is that because he's sick, that's why he thinks the movie's really good.
Okay.
And then the person reviewing it was like...
I do remember that.
The person reviewing it was like, so I expected it to be bad, but actually I actually thought this movie was really good.
I am kind of remembering that. Something about Simpsons and Yentl.
Yeah, I'm sure that I've seen that episode because I watched The Simpsons religiously when I was a child. So that was probably the basis of my knowledge.
And yeah, I did know Papa Can You Hear Me? Like that line. And like relating it to Barbara. In Mrs. Doubtfire, when they make him look like Barbara, they sing.
I don't think they sing Papa Can You Hear Me? I know they sing
Matchmaker.
Maybe they do sing Papa Can You Hear Me?
Yeah, I think they do a lot. I think Robin does.
No,
the
he
line,
sings
Papa Can You Hear
Don't
Me?
tell me not to live, just sit and pata. Okay, Yentl. Originally from a book of short stories called Short Friday and Other Stories, published in 1963 in Yiddish by author Isaac Bashevis Singer. And then it was translated later. I read the story. Okay, 12 whole pages. Let's all calm down.
Wow.
I can link it in the show
Did you put it in your
notes.
Goodreads that you read?
No, I don't even have a Goodreads account. I can link it in the show notes so people can find it. I found it for free. You just have to watch a couple ads as you read. It's fine.
Capitalism.
But there were no. It was skip ad. It had the timer to skip, but there was no ad showing. So it was like a placeholder for ads if ads wanted to
buy, but nobody's
buying for Yentl the story, the short story.
Maybe if we drive up the traffic, then
I think SHOWGAYS
that's where
is
we're
the
gonna
perfect.
put all of our ads.
Yeah,
all of our ad budget.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same. I would say it's very clearly the movie that we watched was adapted,
dramatized
by Barbra herself. She helped write the screenplay.
Yeah.
And this story is clearly not coming from a woman's perspective. The original text.
Okay.
It is not. I don't want to make it seem like it's super misogynistic, but I think that it is unkind in a way that I don't know a woman writing it necessarily would be off the jump. So
unkind to a specific character, unkind in its worldview. Okay.
So in the story, Avigdor. Is that what his name is?
I keep thinking it's Agador, but that's from the Birdcage.
The Birdcage. Avigdor actually does marry someone else when he cannot marry. What is her name?
Hadass.
When he can't marry Hadass, he marries another widow in town.
Okay.
Who's she owns a business and they refer to her multiple times as a bitch. She's just she's mean and she's so ugly and da 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 da. So that is a common refrain that happens in the 12 pages, which I was it's probably for the best that they left that out. Also, it's a little cleaner in the storytelling, but there was at the end of the story, I really liked this sentence, so I wanted to pull it out. I think it speaks to our times. It is a general rule that when the grain of truth cannot be found, men will swallow great helpings of falsehood. I feel in a time of misinformation, we can just let that sit and marinate.
Yeah.
Because
let's hold space for that
lately, whenever things happen and there's no answer quickly or it's an answer people don't want the answer to be, they just come up with conspiracy theories about everything. And mama, we cannot do that. Anyway. It's because the whole town, after all the events happen, it follows Yentl through the story, and then Yentl leaves, reveals herself to Avigdor, just in the thing, and then is I'm gonna go continue to find other yeshivas to study at and continue to be Anshul. She does not find a new life. She does not go to America.
Okay.
And so he goes back to the town. Eventually, there's a divorce that is sent. Divorce papers are sent to Hadass, and then Avigdor divorces his widowed wife that he's married to, the bitch. In case you forgot. So then him and Hadass end up getting married to each other, and it's a big scandal because obviously they had been engaged at one point, and then the engagement fell apart, just like in the movie. And so a lot of it goes into, there's a bunch of the town comes up with a bunch of theories as to what could have happened. They think maybe Anshul was a demon. They think maybe he lost in a game of Christmas or Hanukkah dreidel. He lost Hadass to whatever. So there's just like a bunch of theories.
High stakes dreidel. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that's like all leading up to that line, and I thought that line was very good. But I do think the short story is very interesting. I can see why it is very
prime source material.
Prime source material. It's very. There's something fabulistic about it. It feels like a
Hans Christian Andersen story almost.
He has a bunch of other writing as well. Isaac Bashevis Singer, and he has a bunch of themes. He's from Poland originally, so he writes from like a Polish Jewish perspective. And I will tell you, he did not like this film.
Oh,
so.
Yikes.
Yentl, the play in 1975, written by Leah Napolin and Isaac Bashevis Singer, on Broadway for about 200 performances, gets a bunch of Drama Desk nominations, and Tova Feldsha, who plays Yentl, she wins.
Famous. Well, how we know her, I know her from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend as Rachel Bloom's mom.
She wins a special mention Drama Desk Award. I don't necessarily know what that means, but she is nominated for Outstanding Actress in a Play. And due to his writing, he seems to like this version in his critique of the film a lot more. He said Tova Feldsha really understood the character in a way Barbra Streisand did not.
Oh.
Okay.
Damn.
Yentl, 1983. Directed by Barbra Streisand, screenplay by Barbra Streisand and Jack Rosenthal, based on Yentl, the Shiva Void 1962 story by Isaac Bashevis Singer, produced by Barbra Streisand, Larry DeWay, Rusty Lemirandi, and John Davis. Stars Barbra Streisand as Yentl and Anshul, Mandy Patinkin as Avigdor, and Amy Irving as Hadass. Cinematography is by David Watkin and is edited by Terry Rawlings. The music is by Michael Legrand, Alan Bergman, and Marilyn Bergman. The production companies are United Artists, Barwood Films, Ladbroke Entertainment. It is distributed by MGM UA Entertainment Company. It was released on November 18th, 1983. That's my mom's birthday. Its running time is 134 minutes. And the budget was $12 million. Although later in the Wikipedia article it says the budget was $14.5 million. And then the box office, it made $68.7 million.
Seems pretty good. I mean, I always feel like I'm surprised how much return a film needs to get to be a success, but
yeah, I think that's fine. I feel like usually it's like they want 3 times the amount or something. It all depends on like how much they put into marketing. And they don't supply marketing numbers usually, but I think 68.7 is good, especially for it did not. I don't think it ever went wide. I think it was only in like 500 theaters around the country at most. Barbra Streisand read the story in 1968 and immediately pursued purchasing the screen rights, which she acquired in 1969. This was what she wanted to do immediately following Funny Girl. Just to put that in the timeline perspective for everybody. It bounces around for a while. There's a draft written by Isaac Bashevis Singer where he writes the screenplay, but he drops out of the project because he says that Barbra Streisand is too old because in the original story, Yentl is a 16-year-old girl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and I need to look up Barbra Streisand's age. She's 40 by the time the movie comes out, but just for context.
Wow, she looks great.
She was born in 1942. So she already by 1969 would have been 27. Okay? Great.
Okay.
It bounces around for a while. People don't want to take it. They don't want to fund it, partially because they don't want to do something, quote, that ethnic. Which is wild to me. Especially in like a time where like Fiddler comes out in 1971. It's an Oscar nomination, and I feel like you can't get more ethnic than Fiddler. I mean, I think this is pretty comparable to Fiddler.
Yeah.
But yeah, studios didn't want to approach it, After A Star Is Born, which is in 1976, she admits that she cannot believably play a 16-year-old character. And so she decides that she wants to direct this project because, again, she still owns the rights to this. And then in 1978, her friends Alan Bergman and Marilyn Bergman approached her and were like, you should make it a musical because it'll be more fundable if studios are like, it's a musical starring me.
Yeah.
They're going to be
singing.
more willing. So that's when they retool it into a musical version.
Okay.
And then it gets picked up and funded and produced. This is a very interesting anecdote. According to various sources, Streisand became increasingly inspired and determined to bring Yentl into production when, in the summer of 1979, she and her brother Sheldon visited their father's grave at Mount Hebron Cemetery for the first time in 30 years. For the sake of making memory of the occasion, Streisand had her brother take a photo of her standing next to her father's tombstone. The photo revealed that Emanuel Streisand's grave was directly next to that of a man named Anshel, the name of Yentl's dead brother that Yentl adopts when she takes on a male identity. Intrigued, Streisand complied with her brother when he suggested that they contact a psychic to perform a seance, convinced that her father was beckoning them both from beyond the grave.
Oh,
I was
no.
it started as an anecdote of oh, that's interesting where they got that name.
Yeah. Oh, coincidence. Yeah.
And then it went off the deep end. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Anyway, I thought that was fun. I thought that was
Is
a
this
fun
one of
anecdote.
the facts that clearly a gay man wrote?
Feels like it. Feels like it. Here's another crazy anecdote. According to Mandy Patinkin, the actor originally cast to play the yeshiva teacher, his name was Harold Goldblatt, died during a read-through in London.
During?
He was riveting. This is a quote. He was riveting. Every time this man spoke, the whole room would lean into him. And when we finished, the room was about him, not about Barbara or the film. It was about this extraordinary man, he said in an interview. Patinkin's memory of the actor was sharp. He said, quote, smiled beatifically, right? Beatifically? Is that how you pronounce it? To the table of Yentl actors, put his head down, and died. Everyone waited for him to get back up, but he did not.
Oh my God.
The appalled cast and crew wondered if they could have done anything to save him, but after an autopsy, it was discovered that the actor had suffered, quote, a massive heart attack, and even if there had been a heart surgeon in the room, he could not have survived. According to Alan Cordner, who was also present, Harold stood up, said, it's all been wonderful, and I must go now, sat down, and died.
That's insane.
Which is like
God.
the famous story of how Moliere died, where he died on stage or whatever. That's what that story reminded me of.
That's some crazy Hollywood.
I would immediately be like, this is cursed. This man died at the read through?
I'd look at Barbara and be like, I don't think it's
I'm
happening,
leaving.
Diva.
I would say, what does your psychic say about this?
This is where you should get,
this is when we need
psychic.
to get the psychic involved. The only interesting stuff I had about the Barbara Mandy Patinkin nonsense is that in her book, she said that Mandy Patinkin caused her some of the worst strife with this movie.
Okay.
He said later that he was purposefully antagonistic toward her because he thought that she was going to try and pursue an affair with him.
Oh.
Later on in his life, he did write to her and apologize and say I shouldn't have acted that way. Da 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 da. Wow. But on the set, it led to her being if you don't start acting professionally, I will replace you. So
he was married, and so he was trying to be.
No, he was not married. He just did not want to sleep with Barbra Streisand.
He just didn't want. Okay.
I don't even know if that's what she was after, though. I don't think it was. Yeah. Based on everything, I think she was so passionate about this project. I don't even know if. I mean, listen, anything can happen. Who knows? But it's just wild to me that she had affairs with previous co-stars. So I don't know if it was because of that. He was
a reputation.
I'm next in line.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
I mean, look, whatever the strife was, the chemistry is sizzling on screen.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, they made it work for them.
And in the way of he does kind of egg her on and oof, it's so good.
Yes. This movie I find very interesting in terms of its award situation.
Okay.
So at the Academy Awards, it's nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Amy Irving. This is her only nomination she ever has received. Wow. Best Art Direction, Best Original Songs for both Papa Can You Hear Me and The Way He Makes Me Feel. And then it won Best Original Song Score and its adaptation or adaptation score. 1 win, 5 total nominations.
Wow. I'm shocked Papa Can You Hear Me didn't win song.
Yeah, I don't know what won that year. Golden Globe Awards, which I don't usually bring up, but I do only because it won Best Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Mandy was nominated for Best Actor. Barbra was nominated for Best Actress, and she won for Best Director at the Golden Globes. And then at the Grammy Awards, the score was nominated for Best Album, and then the instrumental arrangement and accompanying vocals was also nominated. Wow. But at the Golden Raspberry Awards, this was nominated for Worst Actor for Barbra Streisand, Worst Supporting Actress for Amy Irving, the same role she received the Academy Award nomination for, and Worst Musical Score, which was nominated and won the fucking the Oscar.
This is homophobia. I'm just gonna say.
It feels
there's a little bit of misogyny. There's a little bit of homophobia. There's a little bit of
there's a bit
and transphobia, right? I mean, it's like people are uncomfortable with the subject matter,
or it feels like they don't like the vanity project.
The vanity project for Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
That is how, I mean, based on nothing, that would be my probable interpretation, especially because Golden Raspberry Awards really like to feel like they're humbling people.
Yeah.
They're bringing them down to earth or whatever. So that would be my guess, but I'm sure that's also in there too.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that we have both RJ and I had this association of it's a thing to be made fun of. It's embarrassing to like this movie. The fact that they got Golden Raspberry, it is a lot of Barbra Streisand. The fact that only she sings is crazy. But this is a good movie. So I feel like the fact that it's in the pop culture consciousness is this would be an embarrassing movie to watch has to be because of the subject matter.
Yeah, or it's only gay men would watch this because it's Barbra Streisand singing about pretending to be a man. There's something there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this movie does not have wide commercial appeal. I do not think this is a common blockbuster. I think it asks a lot of its audience. And while I liked the movie, it is not probably one of my favorite musicals I've ever seen. But yeah, it is weird reconciling this movie, which I thought was going to be an overwrought melodrama with what it is, which is an indictment of Judaic tradition, an acknowledgement of sex and gender, a philosophical examination of Judaism as a whole. I was this is way more nuanced than I thought this was going to be. I don't know if I like all the songs in this, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we're going to get to it, but I think basically my takeaway is this is a good movie, but maybe not a great musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the box office, this is number 5. A movie called Christine is number 4. Don't know what that is.
Is that the Stephen King? Isn't there a Stephen King story called Christine?
Christine, 1983. There you go.
John Carpenter.
Oh.
It's a horror movie.
Carpenter
oh, it is. It is adapted from the
Stephen King. Okay.
Number 3 is Terms of Endearment. Number 2 is Scarface, and number 1 is Sudden Impact. So that's
80s.
Culturally where we're at. Early 80s.
Very 80s.
Okay, I think we should just get right into it. Girls and boys.
Picture books for men or for women.
Immediately.
Serious books for men, picture books for women.
For the ladies.
She wanted to make a movie that felt like it was a fairy tale. That's definitely why the movie starts with that, like, it doesn't say
Belle.
once upon a time, but it nearly says once upon a time.
But it feels like Belle, like little town, it's a quiet village,
Yes.
and everyone's like hustling for carp, and you know.
It's funny because when I like watched this movie and then read the story, and so obviously I picked up on like they were trying to imbue it with this kind of like fable energy. And so I was like, oh, I wonder, this has to be like how it's, and it is so not how it's written in the thing that I was like, oh, they just decided that was the approach, which is fine. I think it works for the movie, but I was surprised that did not come from the text. That just came from her being like, that's how I feel about this.
That's how I want to present this. Yeah.
I thought, here's what I thought.
Why don't you start, Adam, as the main host?
I thought this was good. I really liked it. It's very slow, which is a bummer. And I think it's shot beautifully. There are some scenes that I really was like, felt like I like took my breath away. Like some shots where there was just like the vista of the like yellow sky that I was like, it's just gorgeous.
It's so pastoral.
It's
Yes,
pastoral.
yes.
Even
Very,
when
like,
they're in the bigger towns, it's still like
still feels that way.
It reminded me a little bit of the like the early Little Women, like
the 90s one.
yeah, a little bit like that, a little bit of Secret Garden, like of its time, like past, not as like a like, you know, like high class, but like like the pastoral fields.
I don't know if I've seen either of those movies, but I feel this is something I actually associate with the 1970s. I guess this was the early 80s, but this like long shots of beautiful fields is something that I think of the 70s.
Well, the late 70s kind of, going into the 80s still.
I thought that I liked the performances. I thought it was well directed. I thought it was very good. I don't know. I don't have anything really unique or interesting, I think, to say about it, unfortunately. But I did enjoy it, but I didn't think it was like my favorite movie I've ever watched. I guess it's like where I fell on this. RJ.
I also liked the movie. I agree that it was a little slow, but it was like really pretty. It reminded me at points of like watching like a TV movie, or like I felt like this movie could have been like playing in syndication on TV when I was young, and like it just feels like that kind of film, and the pacing felt like TV movie sometimes. So it was very palatable to watch. Like I was like following along really well, and I felt like the pacing. The whole movie felt slow, but the pacing, I didn't feel like there were certain scenes that I was like, oh my God, this is dragging forever. Like it felt like each scene was had a lot of things to show in order to kind of keep Yentl's story moving forward. I also like the way it's shot. Like it is very for a directorial debut. It really does feel like she had a good understanding of what she was trying to do, and like really focus the story on Yentl, really focus on the pressures that Yentl feel. So I mean, even though I wish like I could have heard like Mandy Patinkin sing, it made sense in what she was trying to do, that all of the music was just like a soliloquies coming from Yentl, trying to parse through like her feelings as she's keeping up with his ruse. And like it kept me hooked because the entire time I was just like, when is the lie going to be revealed? Like we're getting so close to the end, and like we're running out of time. So it kept me hooked. But yeah, I think it felt very pretty to watch, and I was hooked. And I think my main thing really is like, I'm just shocked that this story and this movie was made. Like I feel like if this movie came out now, it would be like, I don't know, like crazy, and like people would have think pieces about it, and like we'll talk about it endlessly.
The cultural narrative around it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When back then it was just like Barbra Streisand wanted to make a movie about about women.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that this movie and Victor Victoria come out in the same decade because they're both playing with similar themes. But Molly, what was your general?
I really liked it. I will say I've gotten into diamond painting recently. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's kind of like
literally painting
so
diamonds?
many diamonds that you're able to paint
yeah, I
them
just have
now.
to paint them. It's like paint by numbers, but with rhinestones, kind of. You're like doing a picture and you're like putting in the little
Okay.
So
cool.
I was doing that during the film, which did help, I think, with some of the like pacing issues that I was like, well, I'm doing my little diamond, so I don't care.
Yeah.
I really liked the performances. Mandy Patinkin is so hot.
He's so
So damn
hot.
fine.
Oh my
so
God.
damn fine.
I don't think a man
So
has ever been
damn
hotter
fine.
ever in a movie.
Who was it? Oh, Kevin Kline from like 2 seasons ago. Like when we watched
Kevin Kline in Pirates of Penzance
Yes.
is a similar energy.
Oh, yes.
Well,
yes.
we're just like,
Man.
my
If
God.
you let me
It's
tell
so
you
fun.
something. If you are a person who loves the like we're in a historical time where we like can't express our passion, so there's like all this like underlying tension that we can't really like express, like this is a movie that you will enjoy.
Yeah. Is that Austinian? Is there an Austinian feel to that?
I think Austinian is like not, I don't think Austin is
Not
sexual
as-
enough
Not
for
as
this.
sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just like really liked the performances.
Yeah.
I think, as I alluded to before, the songs are not particularly memorable. I'm actually making a mental note that like next year when we're planning, I want to like pick some movies that
Some
are like known
bops.
for really good music.
Yes.
Because I feel like we've been kind of light on the good music recently in this podcast. And I understand what you're saying, RJ, of like it's really focused on the character and that's why it's only Yentl that sings.
Yeah.
I feel like we needed more voices.
We needed someone
in here.
else.
We needed
the
some
mix.
time with some other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was that moment where
Insane Mandy Patinkin is in this movie and does not
and does not
sing a
sing,
note.
sing
Yeah.
a word. What's the name of the wife? Hadass. Hadass. There was that moment where Hadass invites them both for tea and she's humming and she's like in the middle. And so I was like, oh, are we going to finally hear someone else sing? No,
just the hum.
But
I will say,
that's the scene of sexual tension when they're all just looking at each other.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is a Camelot style love triangle.
yes.
Polyamory
I will
award.
say a choice that I cannot defend in this movie is that sometimes she is singing over dialogue, and my brain cannot handle.
Yes. That
both of those
was
things at once. I had to put on subtitles in part just because of that technique of being like, well, I have no idea what happened in the scene because I'm hearing Barbra Streisand talk over it.
She does that a lot. I did notice. I always liked. I mean, we watch everything with subtitles now. I'm too old, but I did like the choice to do it because I felt like when the movie starts, the first song she sings, she starts it as like a character singing in space. And then she goes into the bedroom to like put her father to sleep. And it switches into, it's a voiceover.
it's a
of the song.
voiceover, diegetic.
And then she
And then
exits
closes
the
the
room
door.
and she continues back singing in space.
belting in the
And
empty
I
house.
was like, oh, we're playing with like, it's the acknowledgement of like, this is all
it's in her head. Yeah.
the songwriter said that all of the song, because a common criticism of the music of this is that it all sounds the same.
Yeah.
And
There's a Cherbourg feeling to it where it's like, it feels like you're just putting a melody with the thoughts that you're coming up with rather than like creating a song.
so their main thesis of the songs of the movie were that they wanted it to feel like the Talmud, where all the songs are building on themselves in linear order.
There were
Okay.
some numbers that I felt more of that like, oh, it sounds like a prayer. Like it sounds like the prayers.
Yeah. It is like, I would say it's very not, it was very not like normal A-B bridge.
Yes.
Like verse chorus.
It's not
verse chorus.
pop. It's not
that at all.
Yeah.
And obviously Barbara sounds incredible. You're never gonna catch me saying she sounds bad. Sorry, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I did have a hard time. Although I felt like because I was like unsure of where the melody was, I was like focused on
listening
what
in.
she was like saying.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
a good
the
point. Yeah.
But a little of that goes a long way. So like
there are a lot of songs.
Yes.
This is a musical. Okay, this is not one of these she sings twice and then we're like, well, does it count? Is it a musical? Da da da. Nope. She's sings singing. I think like 12 times in this movie.
She sings that same song about like watching of oh my god, these names I'm gonna get them, I promise. Hadass, like
Avigdor.
The meals with Hadass. Like I feel like the 3 times we have that meal with her,
the like no wonder he loves her thing. Yeah.
And it keeps building. Like the second time, it's like putting herself in the perspective now. And then like the last time, it's like it just kept being the same song and like saying the same things, but from different, now it's a different discovery from her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just keeps repeating.
Yeah. That's my biggest gripe, I think, about the music. But I didn't dislike the music. I just was like, I'm never gonna go like listen to the album. Like I'm never gonna be like,
oh yeah, no,
gotta go listen in and relive the fun that was Yentl.
Yentl. The smooth sounds of Yentl.
Should we talk about this performance by Barbra Streisand as Yentl slash Anshul?
I was shocked at how much of Barbara's personality and like witty line readings that we kind of know her from, like with Funny Girl and all of her other work, that I was shocked that it was still there and like was still coming off. And it didn't feel like, ooh, that felt modern. Like that was a modern take for the character. Like it still fits somehow. And I was like shocked at how that worked.
I think that is such a testament to the way Jewish comedy is so derived from Yiddish that like it still feels of the time, because it feels like how they talk, because it's just an English version of Yiddish. Like it's the same kind of energy. So I did really like the language of the movie. I thought that was really good. But yeah, I mean there were points where you were like, the movie starts and the guy's selling the books. And yes, does the serious books for men, picture books for ladies. And RJ literally goes, did she write this? And I looked it up and I was like, yeah, she co-wrote it. He was like, yeah, that it's very on the nose. It's very on the nose. But then when you realize that it's like
she's doing a
very
fable.
Pointedly trying to do a fable, that I was like, oh well.
Look, it efficiently sets up the world and what the conflict's going to be.
Right. Yeah. No. And I don't, obviously there's so much nuance in the movie that it even feels disingenuous to be like, no nuance in the writing, because like it gets very complicated later.
Yeah.
And I think her performance, especially as we get to her coming to the realization that she has to come clean about what she's done.
Yeah.
And the scene where she like is the most vulnerable and like exposes herself and like does the whole thing and he freaks out. I thought, I was like, that scene had me gripped to the chair.
I was so scared for her.
I was so frightened for her. And it is its own indictment of a man's immediacy into, and while it may be justified because she had like lied to him for however long it had been at that point, the immediacy of being like, you're a demon, and like true pure anger was like so frightening.
This might be my lack of knowledge of the Jewish faith, but I didn't know they believed in like demons.
I didn't either. I mean, I guess it makes sense now that I like think about it, but I didn't know that they did as well. But he has a lot of short stories about
the devil.
Yes.
The devil, a devil, devils,
Satan.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know.
I mean, I feel like sometimes when it comes to things like Satan and demon. Well, no, was he writing in English?
He was writing in Yiddish, so it's all like
he was writing in Yiddish. I feel like some of those things, it's like, oh, like what's the translation of it, and like maybe it's a slightly different concept, but like that's the closest word that we have that we're gonna like quickly understand. So I don't know if it's like exactly the same demons as we have in like Catholicism, but
yeah, I think it's interesting because in my brain, Judaism is such a scholarly theology because it's so focused on about like the learning of the the religion. So when it's like things that are antithetical, well, what one would consider like not of like, you know, like learning about
like Rapture doctrine,
like Rapture doctrine, like that feels so left field, not scientific, even though obviously like nothing about we're talking about necessarily scientific, but because I equate them with like a scholarly,
it feels fantastic.
Like when I think about like for Catholics, when I think of the
angels and demons, or
no, Jesuits are the same, where it was like it's like about like learning first, that I'm like, oh, but you also believe the stuff that's weird too. Interesting. Okay.
I mean, I think the question is also like, does he mean a literal demon too? Like,
right.
You can call people a lot of things and not like actually believe in like the metaphysical reality of demons. So
in the story, it was like, and obviously I read a translation, right? But in the story, it was like one of the rumors that had spread around the town as they were trying to figure out where Anshul went. What? And by the way, they have a baby at the end of the story, and they name the kid Anshul, and the whole town like loses their goddamn mind.
Avigdor
Avigdor and Hadass, yeah.
Hadass.
Yeah. But one of the theories they come up with is that Anshul was actually a demon, and they were like, because we never saw him bathe, we never saw him go to the baths, we never saw him go to the river, and apparently they were like, and you know, famously, demons have goose feet. And I was like, goose feet? What?
Oh, see, so but that seems very like TikTok conspiracy. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that demons don't exist in Judaism, but it feels almost like it's like, okay, we know that there could be like some sort of evil thing, and then somebody's just like, maybe his feet were met, and like somehow the rumor, like, I don't know if goose feet is like a thing outside of this village now about this particular incident. You know,
goose feet is big on this village now.
I mean, obviously, like the demon thing gets set up like in the very first, or one of the very first scenes. Like a student is like with her father and hears her quoting the Talmud and says something about like, my father says that women who learn the Talmud are demonic or something like that. Like we hear that set up. So like it is a concept that exists outside of just Avigdor. But like, I just think we don't know enough to know like what exactly is the theology on that.
Yeah, maybe it's more like the belief of like him not even being able to marry Hadass because his blood is tainted. Like that idea of like, it's not like there's a demon that lives in your family, but there's a tainting of your lineage.
Yeah.
Your lineage is tainted in a way that like it'll bring misfortune. So like she's like Yentl is more of like a harbinger of like misfortune if because she learns how to. And I did like that quip that the dad had of the like when Daniel the student is like, I heard that like women are demons if they learn Talmud. And he's like, no, she just has big ears. Like that, like it was so fast and it was just so, it was so good.
Well, the big ears being both a joke about her actual ear size, but also that she like listens.
She just listens. The lessons are at home, so of course.
Oh, I just took it as her listening in. I didn't even think about her actual physical ears.
Oh,
Adam knows everything about Barbara, including her ear.
Well, it was not now. Her ears were not the one of the part of her face that people, commented on.
No.
Yeah.
She apparently has always thought that the right side of her face looks more masculine because her nose looks different on that side of the face or something like that. So apparently a lot of the movie is shot with that perspective, and then when she reveals the truth to Avigdor, they switch the camera angle and film her from the other side.
See, like that's smart.
I do think
she may be a little nutty, but that's
listen,
smart.
She cloned her dog. She's absolutely bonkers. But I do think like this is a movie where watching it, if you didn't know, like I feel like you don't know it's Barbra Streisand who directs it, fine. You would not think this is a first-time director.
No.
Like this feels so
totally.
Confident and assured.
Yeah.
It's like it's so it's such a complete piece that like it doesn't feel like any part of it wasn't thought about.
Yeah.
Like it's so holistic in that regard that it's very impressive. I mean, I'm not going to dispute Steven Spielberg on his assertion that this is the greatest directorial debut since Citizen Kane. Who am I to say such things? But it's impressive.
He could convince me. you know.
It's impressive I mean, I think it is crazy that she was nominated and then won the Golden Globe and then was not even nominated at the Academy.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a snub.
And honestly, then I was like, who was the first woman to win?
It was Catherine
Bigelow. And guess who gave the Oscar
Zero Dark
to her?
30. Steven.
Barbra Streisand.
Yes, I remember that. Okay, I do
Oscar.
remember that. Why that was important, because like Barbra Streisand would have been kind of the first one that would have won back then.
Potentially.
Yeah. Wow.
I think we've already said this, but I think Mandy Patinkin is so hot in this movie.
Yeah.
And the naked scene.
Great work. Honestly, like the best part was his like wet curly hair. Like I was like, oh, it just looks so good.
He
like
has so much hair.
This is why we need female directors, because the female gaze was truly
absolutely
soaking in the male form. Yeah.
Very much so.
Because then he just like kind of lays back and like hangs out and just like
with
literally
his one leg
lays.
prop so he can like,
But I'm like, oh my God, like I get it. I get why she ran back home and like took a very long bath.
Okay, that song was where I was lost in this film. Like I had to check out for a few minutes of like, I cannot have this musical number about your sexual awakening. This is too earnest for me.
Yeah.
I will say so in the story, Yentl's 16. In the movie, they do age Yentl up to be 26.
Okay.
Your mileage may vary on whether you believe Barbra Streisand is playing a 26-year-old woman.
Honestly, I didn't even think about it. I like was not bothered by it at all.
I wasn't bothered by it either.
They start with in the very first scene, there's like a comment from somebody about like that she might be engaged, and then the woman says something about like, oh, at your age, I'd think you'd be happy with any sort of engagement or whatever. So I was like, okay, so she's like on the older side of getting married.
Yeah.
That's like all the information that I needed to have. Yeah.
And like I bought in that like she's taking care of her dad, so she doesn't really want to like it made sense to me.
I can't explain it, but as Anshul, she
looks
reads
younger.
as younger than
Totally.
the person who is 10 years younger than her that she's playing opposite. Like I understand that part of it is the height
the
thing.
woman's gonna look like a young boy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's
the little pixie cut, the little hat.
But like she
Yeah.
does not like Barbara doesn't have
like masculine features.
No, she doesn't have like super soft feature. Like she's so bony, she's so angular that it honestly helps itself. There were like people saying that like while she was trying to get this movie made, people couldn't believe she could do it because she was too pretty, which is insane because like 5 years before they were like, you'll never be in Hollywood because you're too ethnic looking, which again, nothing matters. Everything's fake. But it's so crazy to me because like if you look at her, I feel like it's so clear that she could look like I don't know. It's so wild to me that this that no one could see the vision.
I was honestly shocked when Hadassah's family decided to try to get Anshul to marry her because I was like, don't you think this boy is like prepubescent? Like he does not look old enough to be getting married. Yeah.
I mean, the story's crazy because the story's crazy, first of all. Yeah. But the story's crazy because you have to think like when you got married back in the day, it's not like today where you could just get divorced on a whim. These fucking sinners and sickos. When you got married, that was it. It was for the end, till your dying day. So there's no forethought of being like, hey, this is going to be the next 50 years of my life. Let me really take this into careful consideration about what I'm about to put this poor girl through.
I think it's always been easier to divorce in Judaism than in other traditions.
Yes, that's
I'm
true.
not saying it was taken lightly. It was still meant to be a lifelong promise. But
he didn't freak out about it at the end. Like she was like, if it gets found out, then we can just say it was a sham marriage anyway. So
yeah, and Avigdor even says something in the scene where he's trying to convince Anshul to marry Hadass about like maybe one day her dad will calm down, and then like he kind of references like, oh, maybe one day you could divorce her and I can marry her. So like it's obviously a thing that is on the table.
Yeah. That was poor Hadass. In the story,
Poor Hadass.
the wedding night, they like say that Anshul figured out a way to deflower Hadass.
Oh,
And so then so then they could take the sheet the next morning and show that she had been deflowered.
That's why she spilled the wine on the sheet in the movie.
You didn't know what the wine was supposed to be.
I didn't at first.
Wow.
I learned something new.
Homosexual
every day.
privilege, not knowing what the wine was referencing.
Amazing. Well, usually for gays, we just by default put a towel on the bed, but I didn't realize that.
All right. Good God.
I did like that scene of them kind of, there was a very sweet scene, even though like from Yentl's perspective, like it's a distraction so that way they don't get caught. But there's kind of like this genuine joy from Hadass that like, I've never had a friend before. And so they like, she was just genuinely enjoying.
She falls in love with her because she like listens to her.
Yeah. It's like, that's what I'm saying. Like this movie, if it came out today, there would be so much writing about like the Woolawaness, the trans, like all the queer things that like by now, like people have lived lives that have experienced this already.
I mean, Hadass and Yentl are in like a queer relationship. Like I think that we can agree that it is not a strictly platonic thing that happens between them. Certainly Yentl tries to like keep it from being physical, and I'm sure would like have very little frame of reference for how it would even be physical with each other. But like, I mean, honestly, it seems like based on the way that characters talk, wouldn't have any frame of reference for how a man and a woman could be physical together.
Right.
But I think that I think it's really profound that when Anshul is leaving on the trip where Yentl intends to confess her love for Avigdor, Hadass says, "I love you," and Yentl/Anshul says, "I love you back." And I really I truly believe that is not meant to be just like, "I love you so much as a friend," or like you're like a sister. Like I think that there's like a real romantic love that exists between them.
Yeah. I think so too. There is something like, even when Anshul gets so excited to teach her about the Talmud, and like obviously like I love the line of Hadass being like, I've been awake all day, like I'm sorry I can't do it. But there was like this genuine joy as well from her. Like she is trying to say something that like this women like being capable of like having a what is that the right word? Stimulating conversation that is, that's like academic and everything. Like there's something there that like she's kind of.
And it's so interesting how at first I was getting a little nervous at one point because of the way that Yentl is like judgmental of Hadass and her being like this perfect feminine figure.
Of course he would fall in love with her.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is this going to be like an 80s mean girl, I'm not like other girls like situation? Yeah. But like really it is. It's like the film knows that it's a flaw of hers, and a big part of it is Yentl learning to embrace being a woman through seeing what Hadass is capable of, and how Hadass is like, when given opportunities, able to blossom. And like I think Yentl's able to see like, wait, if I had not had the father that I had who exposed me to these things, of course I would have ended up in the same situation as Hadass of not being able to speak about these things because just nobody ever taught me. And so I thought that was really a very progressive take for the like better than I was expecting in terms of how it treated the female characters.
Yeah. Totally.
Again,
I feel like
directors.
this movie has so much empathy toward all of its characters.
That
it's like that, especially after reading the story, I was like, it's just, that's not part of the original story. The original
story,
what
the author hated, was that it was too empathetic.
I mean, I think I would have to go back and look what his quote was. He said like she just like misunderstood. He doesn't like the ending. He hated the ending.
Okay.
Because it was too neat. It was like, he was like, Yentl goes to America to work in a sweatshop for 12 hours a day. Like, I don't think that was Yentl's journey. But I think he didn't really like the music. He didn't feel like Yentl was a piece that needed music. Especially the music that they came up with for the movie, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of, I mean, I don't know. It was a very interesting kind of take, but also there's a bit of she wrote the screenplay, so I feel like part of it is like he doesn't like her interpretation of his.
Right.
It's a little death of the author. Like he can't let it go,
especially since because he helped write the play version, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I thought what was another thing. I mean, it's crazy. I would really hope that in 2025 this wouldn't be such a big deal. Of course it would be, but this is just the 12th night. That's all this is. Really, when you think about it. So it's like so boring that we have like regressed to the point that that's what's going on. But
Andrew saw like little bits of it at the beginning, and then he like left to work out, and he came back at the part where they were kissing, where like they've gotten past the he's really angry part, and like now he's kissing Yentl, and he was like, oh, I couldn't have predicted that that's what was going to happen. That's never what happens in films like this, where the woman like dresses up as a man.
Yeah. It's such a relief that there was actually a woman all along, so there's no gay panic.
Well, there is gay panic.
He certainly
has the line where he says, like, I thought something was wrong with me.
I know.
Yeah.
Which was the only kind of reference to...
Yeah, looking, like, after he said that, I was like, wow, all of those line readings and, like, very close-up shots of him, like, looking at Anshul, I was like, oh, that was tension. That
I couldn't figure out if it was, like, if we were supposed to interpret it as
the audience. Because he looks like
that,
his brother, so I thought he was still, like, grieving his brother, because he was like, you remind me so much of my younger brother.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out, too, if it was, like, those shots are also her interpretation of him.
Right.
Like, I didn't
know
if
it was
like,
going to be that kind
perspective
of,
it was coming from.
Yeah.
So then when it was like confirmed that he also did feel similarly, it was very interesting. But it is interesting too that like even in the story, he's like, well, I could have married you. It's so weird because like the whole thing is like him and Hadass love each other. Like they're in love. But then like this whole thing happens and he's like, well, I could just marry you instead. It's like, well, the whole point of all of this is so that you can marry Hadass, Diva Boots.
He doesn't love Hadass. I'm sorry. Like maybe at the end he does, but they really like do a lot of telling me he loves Hadass, but it's like he does not know Hadass, and he has said like she doesn't have thoughts. So like I'm sorry.
Yes, he's just fully attracted to Hadass.
No men love women in this sort of setup, if that's what you think.
Yeah. I mean the way he's like he kind of like is buddy and like skinship and like physical interaction with Anshul the entire movie. I was like, I feel like if I was watching it, if I was a student in the school, I would be like, so they're close, huh? Like it was just so gay coded. Like, oh yeah.
But when you are separated to such an extent in society, like there were like aspects that I wasn't even thinking about. Like in the story, he says like he gets mad because he realized that they had been like together when she was in her unclean times, like obviously like she was on her period, which you're not supposed to be, like Orthodox, you're not supposed to be around women during that time. Like they're not even supposed to be alone together if they're not even married. Like there was a bunch of things that the movie doesn't specify because it's not like text-based, obviously, but that is also all there too, which I found really interesting. I mean, I love the scene at the very beginning of the like clear delineation in the synagogue of the men are like upstairs. Downstairs and the women are upstairs looking down, and I always find that fascinating, to be quite honest. That is like how Orthodoxy still exists.
Well, I think it was really interesting. I liked the scene of when Anshul first arrives and doesn't have a room, and then Avigdor says like, oh, you can just share my bed for the night because you like don't have anywhere to crash. And I think that was a really effective thing to choose, kind of like as a substitute for like the things you're saying about like being unclean and what, like those are things that a modern audience isn't going to really like relate to. But the idea of sharing a bed with somebody of the opposite sex that you just met is like still like that would be kind of a like, oh, okay, I'm really comfortable with that now. So I thought that was a really good choice of, it didn't like push the boundaries of what could really happen at the time, but it also was like taboo enough even now that you're like, okay, I see why she's uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, and I think it also really nails the fine line of not pushing it too far into like a farce. Like,
yes,
it's so easily set up to be a full comedy because the minute you put someone like that's trying to disguise themselves as the opposite gender,
something's gonna happen,
portray themselves a different way and not for like a real reason or whatever, is like
having to put on pants, like basic stuff like that ends up like
Tootsie. This is Tootsie.
Yes,
but like
Mrs. Doubtfire,
yeah. But like this really, there are comedic elements.
Yeah,
like the joke is like, she has her hand against the wall and then he's like, why are you laying like that? And she's like, this is how I always sleep. Like that joke is funny, but it doesn't then go into like anything crazier. And I like
just
even when there's like, I like when it gets to a point where it could be that at the river is when it like almost becomes like she gets so upset that he's like manhandling her. Like it's like about like his power over like how much stronger and bigger he is more than her. Like I liked that it twisted that into that direction.
I really like that river scene.
Yeah, I think it's like I think it's so rich with so many different layers. Like it's like a little horny, but it's also like scary and like I mean it is obviously there. This exact same scene happens in Mulan. so it is, as a 90s Disney kid, I was like, wow, Mulan just fully grafted the scene from Yentl. It's crazy. And she doesn't have a little Mushu to help her, unfortunately. She doesn't have a little dragon.
She doesn't have the horse.
Right.
Okay. This is, to me, the only true question to discuss. Why does she confess her love to Avigdor?
It's a great question.
That is a great question. Because
she doesn't in the book, in the story.
Oh, but does he know that she's a woman ever in the story?
Yes.
It finds out.
He finds
reveal
out.
is very similar.
Oh,
so
wait,
she
she
reveals
reveals that she's a woman, but not that she has feelings for him. Gotcha.
Because in the movie, this is when I started multitasking.
Or I guess maybe that's how I interpreted it. There is like a level that she cares deeply for Avigdor, but the understanding is like, I could never be with you. But there is also the text of the story very explicitly states that Yentl has a male soul that lives in a female body.
Oh,
which is
this is
very
a trans
crazy.
Yes,
story.
that is very specific. Yeah.
Like now it would be like, that's a trans story.
Yeah.
But that is not how it is obviously intended when it was written.
Interesting.
Because in the movie, she decides that she's going to tell her after like the many times that Hadass has like basically like said that I love you, or like has like really reached into like is in love with her, right?
Yeah, in the movie, she's like, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, and it's after
Hadass is like, I want to have sex, and she's like,
ooh, uh-oh. And he has, but it was after he tried to leave. Avigdor has tried to leave, and she like says
yes, Avigdor tries to leave before
that was the wedding, before the marriage, right?
Yeah, before even the wedding happened. Yeah, because that's when she agrees to go through with it.
But he was starting to kind of see that like, oh, the plan didn't work because now Hadass is in love with you. And like, I guess I am still the fool at the situation.
Right.
So in a way, that's kind of like, I need to give up the ruse. But I mean, just as throughout, I became more and more sympathetic to Hadass. And I was like, I feel bad for this girl.
So bad for Hadass.
She didn't deserve any of it.
Even in the story, Yentl says like, oh, well, because Hadass is like a virgin and so naive and innocent, like she's easy to manipulate into like doing this. She's like, Anshul can't marry a widow because a widow would know what has to happen on like a marriage night and stuff like that. So like, you have to pick someone that you can like easily twist.
Yeah, like, there was even that scene of Hadass's dad being like, listen, I've told her nothing of how this works for you, basically, for this moment, whoever is going to marry her. So, and even then I was like, oh God, like it really is just so blatant. Like we gotta look all the way up to the issues. Like it goes all the way to the top.
I have no idea why, but my guess is that the movie is trying to say that it's because she's just coming clean about all of her sins. Like the whole truth has to come out. It can't just be I'm a woman.
I'm a woman, but it
like,
also like because I've developed feelings
because
for
I love you.
Yeah.
So you felt like the motivation was this like coming clean because you've done sins, basically. Like you felt like that was kind of the driving force.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because RJ, and I know RJ, you said questions about motivations, and I was guessing that this is what this is about. But
yeah, it was that. It was a little bit of that. It was also, I mean, a little bit of Avigdor's kind of like the hatching of the plan, but then like not really because the plan it felt so loose. Like even Yentl was like, but I'm not your brother. So like, how does this hold up in the rules? And even if
Ansel was his brother, she is married to a different person. Like, I think Avigdor is like so, he seems so like invested in this idea of like, maybe if it's somebody like me, then I won't feel as sad, but like, that's obviously just not gonna work. I kind of thought that maybe Avigdor was like, trying to say like, and then like you'll agree to like not sleep with her and like not be romantic.
That's what I thought too.
But then when they get married, then Avigdor is like, tell me everything about the wedding night. And I'm like, oh, so you were like on board with them like being in a romantic sexual relationship together? Like I'm confused.
Yeah. Pull out the cuck chair, bud.
Yeah, he wants to sit in that chair and know all about it.
And I think that I think the part of like Judaism / like this is based on my knowledge from like Old Testament Catholicism stuff is that like if you were married to a woman and then the man died, that then the brother would have to marry her as a way of like making sure she continues to be taken care of. But like none of this relates. Honestly, I had a moment of being like
the money in the family.
Yeah,
I was like, is Avigdor about to ask him to like commit suicide after
or something? Or like run away, like, okay, we gotta fake a death now or something.
The plan doesn't make sense, but I also feel like the movie is so good at like putting them in this like they're so desperate to be with one another that it's like an idea hatched out of desperation. Like it doesn't make sense because it shouldn't. Like they're so nuts about each other.
I like believed
whether it's love or infatuation. That's up to the viewer's discretion.
I believed a little more that he would have gone with the plan, or Avigdor would have gone with him getting married, or she getting married to so many pronouns. In the idea that like I wouldn't want Hadass to fall in love with another man or just get signed up to be married to another man that we don't know.
I think I do think there's like the scene where they like have dinner with Hadass and Hadass is like, I've had suitors basically come to talk to me and they've all been like twice my age. Like I think that also like ups the stakes of being like, you have to make a decision fast as to whether or not you're going to
because it's going to end up being
from.
It's going to be Fiddler on the Loop.
And I feel like, yes, and I think the movie is really good at portraying it as like we're saving Hadass from potentially something even worse.
Yes. Yeah. That motivation made a lot more sense to me. Why Hadass would be like, look, I know you're a nice person, you're around my age, like you're a way better match for me than these.
You notice
these
my
people
cooking.
Showing up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the question at hand. RJ, why do you think that Yentl makes this confession?
I mean, I think the sensual washing of herself, like to me feels like Barbra is like trying to kind of make a statement about like the women also have like a sense of like power that they can have, and it's over their kind of like love and like sexuality. So like to me, I felt like it was a clear decision for like Barbra Streisand's vision for Yentl to be like, no, it has to be like her feelings is the quote unquote true like agency that she has almost.
Interesting.
That's how it read to me. Cause I I mean, like, yeah, things like come to a halt when she finally says like, it's because I loved you. And they like both kind of like cry about it. And then that's when it comes out, you know, that like he has been looking at her in that way, but wasn't sure. I don't necessarily know if it was like it was needed or not, but I could tell since that scene after the river that I was like, oh, I think that's now it's become like a true romance. Like I almost took it as like this, I'm watching a romance film now, or like a romance story unfold.
Yeah. Okay. I think all of these are very good theories. So
did it just bump you completely? Like it just.
Well, here's what surprised me was when she very quickly was not interested in marrying him, because I kind of took it as just like,
right.
I love you and I'm
ready to do it. I can be a woman. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That I took it as like Hadass had sort of taught her about the positive parts of femininity. Like she's ready to like move past the idea of like, I just have to get rid of being a woman in order to have the things that I want. Mm-hmm. That she now sees like the benefits of being a woman as well. And that like she has had this like need to be with Avigdor and like must pursue it. I think also the like cleansing of sins makes a lot of sense. And RJ, I'm trying to think about how to like sum up your point in a little blur, but like,
yeah.
So I wasn't surprised that she didn't want to, you know, go back to studying in secret based on everything else I know about the character. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised because I was like, but you're making this big confession. And like, I thought that was kind of,
and like, you would know what
going for.
Yeah. You would know the consequence. Yeah. If you admit it, you wouldn't be able to study anymore.
Like I'm curious what you guys think of if, let's say that Avigdor had said, oh my God, I'm in love with you and I'm so excited to marry someone who loves the Talmud as much as I do and that I can debate and whatever. Because he very quickly tries to put her back in this box of like women at home taking care of the children, like just like that's all you do. If he instead had been like, oh my gosh, this is what I've always dreamed of but never knew I could have, of like a woman who loves these things too.
Yeah.
Would she then do you think then she would have married him? Or do you think she went into it knowing that they wouldn't end up together, but needing to tell him anyway?
I read it that she probably would have agreed to marry him if it was like, we're creating a new husband and wife dynamic where we can both study together and our children are studying together. And we're always like, our activity is like debating and like reading and whatever. But when he says it and like, she's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just go back to being a wife. It did kind of like whiplash me back of like, oh yeah, that's right. Like that is the situation that they would be in.
I think that what surprised me also was like, I didn't see a moment in the scene of her. Like I expected then for there to be like a moment of disappointment for her.
Yeah.
Of like,
it was really quick. This whole scene was really fast.
It was once we had gotten past the anger, which again was very scary.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff got resolved really quickly. Yeah. But yeah, I was thinking that if she had gone in hoping like maybe Avigdor will like want me to be my full self, that she would be like saddened when he starts talking about her taking on the traditional role of a wife. But she kind of, I didn't read it if it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this excerpt because I had read this earlier, but I needed to find the official thing. The last dramatic dialogue scene filmed on the movie was the confrontation between Avigdor and Yentl in the Lublin Inn, which was a set at Lee International Studios. Streisand revealed in her director's commentary on the Blu-ray that she rewrote this scene. Originally, the movie cut to Avigdor and Yentl after making love. Avigdor brings up Hadass, which spoils the mood. I thought too much, Streisand said. Lemirande chimed in, it's unrequited this way in the final film.
Unrequited? Do they mean like unconsummated? It's not unrequited.
Unconsummated.
Okay.
Yes.
They mean, which I love. I think that was the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not have wanted them to
hook up. That'd be a very modern thing of like, let's sleep together one time and then we'll never see each other again. Like, I don't think people did that in 1905. Yeah.
Yeah. That feels like a very 1970s movie idea, though, of like just to get where the tension has reached its boiling point.
Yeah.
But I feel like it then keeps there is sexual tension between them, but because it doesn't do that, I feel like it's also there is like it is a tension more of just like their like specific like theoretical conversation chemistry that they have. They love having these like philosophical arguments. Like I love that the core of that relationship that they have is based in this like platonic like argumentative discourse.
Challenging. Yeah.
I love the scene at the very like early on in the movie when she's like arguing that the specificity of whether the term in the original Hebrew text for Adam's is it rib or side, because if it's side, then it truly does mean that women and men are just the exact same. He just create like I even like was like there's like stuff in here that I really thought was like very interesting, and I like that we get little snippets of like actual conversations as the movie progresses, and not just.
And what a beautiful moment as the confrontation scene is wrapping up and Avigdor is trying to convince Yentl to like take on this traditional wife role when he says like, you have everything because like women already know everything and that's why they don't need to study the Talmud. Like I thought that was such an interesting idea that I feel like we've been seeing a lot of criticism of like this Orthodox Jewish approach to like highly specific roles. And then we get thrown this little curveball of like, oh, well, no, that's like a different explanation for it than the earlier Avigdor who was like, she doesn't have thoughts, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it is like the letdown of the Avigdor still comes back to being like, but then you can can learn more of it, but you have to do it in secret again.
Yeah.
Is like a bummer. But I guess I would have to rewatch the scene. I don't know if even when I thought it, if she thought that there was a way for them to end up
to be together. Like he would be open to like make a new version of
or anything. Like I think my interpretation truly was like it's just I have to just tell you about everything and then I'm never and I'm leaving again because I think the letter was already written. Like I think all of the steps are in place and she knows what she has to do because she knows she has sinned by doing all sinned is such a specific term, but like she's done all this like trickery.
But in this context,
and you have to get your come up, like you have to deal with the repercussions of what you've done.
I mean, look, I'll say, well, I believe in same-sex marriage. Like, I think that misrepresenting yourself really fundamentally to your partner before marrying them is bad. Like, I think we can still see some of this as morally wrong, even if we're not against it.
You duped a lot of people.
Especially if you go with the original text and you realize that like she figured out how to deflower like I mean, we're in a conversation of very like sexual assault. Like who knows? Like you know what I mean? Like it's very complicated what she's doing. I think it's smart that the movie tones that down obviously and like makes I like the charming scene of like them having the pillow fight and whatever because it's a bit of brevity comedy.
It lets everyone breathe, like even the audience.
I mean the implications of this if this was a real situation are like troubling at best.
I buy that.
Illegal at worst.
I think I buy that like Yentl has decided
that makes sense. I mean, I understand in the cultural context that she maybe would be like, I just know that Avigdor, like, he's not gonna, that's like too much to ask a person to change their mind in this span of time. But I feel like you would have to hope on a personal level of like, but maybe him realizing that I am the person he's been debating this whole time will make him really shift his opinion. So like,
opinion about women of like, we are capable of this.
I also struggle a little bit with like, how on earth would this character who's been in love with him for so long like not have some hope of like maybe somehow this will all work out, you know?
Yeah. I think that's what, when people talk about Yentl, especially the film version, as a feminist figure, I feel like part of the reason is the like walking away from Avigdor.
Yes.
Is the like upholding that as like being able to be like, and yet I still choose myself at the end of the day instead of choose.
Which again, very progressive for 1983.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen, Barbara cooked with this one. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Yeah, she did.
Do you like the ending? Do you agree? So the original ending in the story is that she then just goes to a new yeshiva. She's still going to pretend to be... She's still pretending to be Anshul, a.k.a. Honestly, now it just really reads as Anshul's trans. But Anshul goes to the next yeshiva to go learn some more. I think it's very interesting that Anshul's just wants to debate and learn.
Yeah, that's the thing. What's the goal? Like, are you looking to then teach yourself? Like, no, you just want to keep reading every book.
That's the part that feels very Fably about it, is like a character that has like just it's like one driving force. Like there's one thing about them. I'm the guy that likes to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the original author's critique of like Yentl would have just ended up in a sweatshop, but like I like to interpret the film as like Yentl will go and be able to join some sort of progressive Jewish community that will allow her to like study the Talmud and like do all the things that she would want to do at a yeshiva. I think that to me it's a great ending of like she is going to choose a cultural context that will allow her to like be her full self, because I think that this character is not trans. I think that the Yentl in the Barbra Streisand movie is a woman and like will live the only way to live like her full life is to like be openly a woman and also studying.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I love the reference, the unintentional reference to the end of Don't Rain on My Parade.
I was about to say, I was like, where's the Statue of Liberty? Like when we sweep out.
I know. But even that shot and then the coloring of it, the sea is so overblown, like it's like almost like white, and how it's, I don't know, the cinematography of this is so pretty. Like multiple times, really.
There were moments where I was like, did they remaster it? Like I was like kind of like, wow, this looks really good. I'm sure there is some sort of remastering, but I mean the shots already were so like well built. Great. Should be anything else?
Nope.
Anything to say about Amy Irving's performance?
Great
Beautiful.
job.
Good job.
She really, I mean, I was rooting for her.
Yeah.
Like at the end, I was like, no, we need to do right by this woman, please.
Yeah.
And I like that the movie, it doesn't, she's not a character. No, she isn't a character that isn't like, I just want to be a homemaker.
Right.
Like she does start to learn, like she is interested in learning, like once kind of Yentl foists that upon her. But she's also like, but I also have to do, there are things that I do have to do. Like this is my role and I am okay with it being my role, that I have to like prepare the Sabbath dinner and stuff like that. Like I like that it doesn't have a take that she's wrong either way. Because that's the point, is that any women should be able to choose whichever role they want to have. Molly. Okay.
What?
Just something to think about, Molly, as you go into your next phase of your laugh. Don't let him tell you.
Mother.
Yeah, don't let him tell you can't
marriage
be
advice for me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Papa, how I love you. Papa, how I need you. Papa, how I miss you. Kissing me good night.
Okay, so the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, we have a 69% AO. Roger Ebert from the Chicago Sun-Times says, Yentl is a movie with a great middle. The beginning is too heavy-handed in establishing the customs against women scholars. An itinerant book salesman actually shouts, serious book for men, picture books for women.
I thought it was sacred books for men.
He was saying different words.
Okay.
He was switching it up. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the ending with Yentl sailing off for America seemed like a cheat. I missed a final scene between Yentl and her bride. But the middle 100 minutes of the movie are charming and moving and surprisingly interesting. A lot of the charm comes from the cheerful high energy of the actors, not only Streisand, who gives her best performance, but also Mandy Patinkin as her long-suffering roommate, and Amy Irving as the girl Patinkin loves and Streisand marries. There are obviously a lot of tricky scenes involving this triangle, but the movie handles them all with taste, tact, and humor.
I will say that is one place I think the film falls down a little bit, is the fact that Hadass is not like worthy of a final scene to like also confess to Hadass. Like it feels like it's kind of putting her a little bit lower than Abigdor, that she doesn't get the same confession.
Yeah. Patrick Gibbs from the Daily Telegraph did not like this movie. Okay. He said, when I add that she sings a great deal in her usual stirring style, it will be seen that she has taken on rather a load, especially since the lyrics offer little help nor the music by Michael Legrand. As a male impersonator, Miss Streisand presumably intends to amuse rather than convince, as she does the good-looking student who befriends Anshul and the pretty girl he actually marries. A subject for farce, you will say, but it is played out against pretty period settings in all seriousness towards as happy an ending as can be run up, given the circumstances. At least the ending makes the author's original point that retention of traditional male and female roles has advantages.
What?
Isn't that weird?
Wait a minute.
Isn't that such
That's the author's point? And that's the point of this movie?
Tamar, did you watch the show?
Did you watch the movie?
Do you watch the show?
Felt like a weird review. That's why I added it. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe Patrick Gibbs was confused. On Letterboxd, this is a 3.6 out of 5 stars. Olivier LeMay gave it 3.5 stars and calls it the intellectual She's the Man.
Yeah, very
Nico
accurate.
gives it 4 stars and said 1983 Mandy Patinkin is the finest man I have ever seen in my entire life.
Correct.
Nora gave it 3.5 stars and said very eager for Lady Gaga to reach the point in her career where she ends up making whatever the Italian version of this is. And Nylor Aced gave it 3.5 stars and said, I'll never get over how the tune for Do You Want to Build a Snowman was ripped from Papa Can You Hear Me?
I guess so.
All right, Molly, who was your MVP? Go ahead and take it.
Go ahead.
I'm going to take Barbra Streisand. She did everything on this movie. There's no other option.
Which title?
Role,
Yes,
producer, director.
Which job? Yeah, which title?
I'm
performer,
going to give it to her
director?
as an actress because I think that the performance, the just straight up acting, I kind of think that if she originally imagined it not as a musical, like I think that maybe would have been a better choice, honestly. As much as I do love to hear Barbra Streisand sing, obviously, but I think that maybe that would have been the move.
Yeah. RJ?
I will pick, you know what? I will pick Mandy Patinkin. Because Mandy Patinkin, definitely a better performance than 88 Keys.
Oh.
It's so
By
crazy that there were
far.
2 in a row. I didn't know he was going to be in either one of these movies.
I had no idea. I think I
idea.
knew Mandy Patinkin was in this, but I definitely didn't know he was in Dick Tracy.
No
Yeah.
clue. Yeah. Yeah, I just felt like he was really a great actor in this, and like understanding why that story is crazy, that he was like, I don't want an affair with you.
Yeah.
This really feels like the Kevin Kline role in Sophie's Choice. That's what this movie reminds me of. They have like a
I
very
have not seen
similar-
that movie.
Sophie's Choice?
Yeah.
Tough watch.
Tough. It's tough. It's hard.
It's a romp,
This is
right? It's a
pretty
good
tough.
time. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's a rip-roaring comedy.
Yes, and it really makes a point for the author's intent to to retain the traditional male and female roles.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
No, yeah, I'll give it to Mandy patinkin, because I think at first I was just like, I wasn't sure how they were gonna delve into the like, oh, I have feelings for you and I don't know why. And so I'm glad that I was like surprised that they went with it and that he performed it very well. So
I'm going to go with Barbra Streisand,
the director,
as a writer.
Oh.
After having read
the original story. Yeah.
It's so...
It fixes the problems in the adaptation.
It just, I wouldn't want to call them problems per se, but like, in order for this to feel like the movie that it feels like, it has to be done with this crafting of humans that are fully empathetic characters and not just, I mean, it's a short story. That's the point, right? Like you're in and you're out. But I just think like the text of this film treats its characters with a lot of like reverence that I really, and the original story doesn't necessarily do, because that's not what it's about. Molly, do you have a closer?
I tried to think of a closer, and everything I thought of felt kind of disrespectful. So I'm gonna do
And what were some of those options, Molly? Do you want to run through those?
I'm gonna do a curveball, and I'm gonna say, of the 3 Barbra Streisand characters that we have watched together for this pod, which are Dolly from Hello Dolly, Fanny Bryce, sorry, Fanny Bryce from Funny Girl,
yes,
and
Yentl.
I couldn't remember the last one for some reason. Who would win in a fight?
Who would win in a fight?
Who
You don't
would
want to
win in
do
a
fuck,
fight?
marry, kill?
We can do that. Let's do that. Let's do F, marry, kill.
Damn.
Okay. The problem is like one of these is a historical figure, so it feels like I'm like saying this about her.
You're
We're
not
just talking
saying
about the characters.
The character portrayal in
Only
the movies.
the singular character.
Okay. I'm gonna. Okay. I'm going to. Oh my God. I'm going to.
Okay, everyone, make sure you get your sound bites ready. Make sure you clip the timestamps.
Fuck Yentl. This is horrible. I would do that. Because I think, there's a lot of sexual chemistry there. Yentl could dress up as Anshul. It would be fine for me.
Oh, okay. That's a good point.
We're into that. I would marry Fanny.
Okay.
Because Fanny had a ton of money.
True.
And could take care of me. And I would kill Dolly Levi because she's already at the end of her life. It's already, the parade's passed her by. So
the parade has passed her by.
It's over anyway. Now, technically, Dolly's Barbara's Dolly is like what, much 30? Younger than normal, but I'm going with the idea that the character is supposed to be older.
Okay. I'm gonna kill Yentl because it feels disrespectful to hook up with Yentl. Okay. I'm going to spend the night with Miss Fanny Bryce because I think that she'll be fun. But I'm going to marry Dolly because I think that Fanny is a mess. And I don't think that you want to be with somebody who's that much of a mess. Now, is Fanny a mess because of her partner?
The dinners at Harmonia Gardens that you'd get to go to all the time.
I just think that Dolly would strategize for my... I think that Dolly would strategize for my success. Dolly would be a good person to have in your corner figuring out your next move. Smart. So I think that for that reason, I'd pick Dolly to marry.
I agree. I would also marry Dolly. I also feel like Dolly and I are both kind of busybodies and get in people's business a lot. So I think we would have a lot of fun.
We'd have fun with
getting being involved in everything in Yonkers and arranging full nights.
So you're marrying Dolly post. So you would be husband number 3.
Yes.
So this is after Horace has died.
And she's taken over Yonkers. And like we would be kind of just like honestly, like just
half
just
a million.
man and woman about town, like running around Yonkers.
Her dandy husband.
Yes. Yeah. It's a full lavender wedding. And we're just throwing lavish parties.
Well, it's a half lavender wedding. I think she's straight. My guess is Dolly Levi's
I guess so. And I think I would, I think I would, oh God, I think I would kill Fanny. And
that was the one I was like, I don't want to say that.
I don't think.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Great.
And I would be with Anshul. Anshul specifically, not Yentl.
Great. Well, this has been incredibly disrespectful. Barbra Streisand, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
But we love the movie, and we think you should have been nominated for the
And we
Oscar.
think you should have been nominated for a drug. Yeah,
I don't know what the other nominees were, but I'm just going to go ahead and say you should have won.
You know what? Let's see.
1983 Best Director.
Richard Attenborough for Gandhi.
What was that?
That
I have to look and see if that's that year.
No, I think it's the year after.
I think it's the year. So, the 56th. Terms of Endearment won.
Oh, yes.
And
I've seen
the
Terms
other
of
nominees
Endearment.
were The Dresser, Fanny and Alexander, Silkwood, and Tender Mercies.
I've seen Terms of Endearment, and I don't think it's as well directed as Yentl is. So I'm going to stick with it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I agree.
T. This is the ugliest poster. Okay. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining along. We'll be back after Molly's marriage honeymoon. I think she'll probably be pregnant by the time we're back. So it'll all have happened.
I'll actually have given birth to a child by the time that we're back. Yeah.
Great. Perfect.
She's actually been pregnant this entire time. We just don't know because we see
they don't know.
We don't see above Molly's nipples. we only see above Molly's. Sorry. we're only ever looking at the bottom of Molly.
We always just record.
Great.
We've never seen Molly's face before.
Molly, can you just poke your head down just so I can see you for the first time?
No, I'm not doing the face reveal.
Wow, that's what you look like.
Congratulations.
Molly's the equivalent of the Miss Bellum from Powerpuff Girls. Where
Yes,
you only
you don't
see
see
her like legs and torso. You never see her head.
Yes, well, congratulations, Molly.
Congratulations, we're
Thank
very
you.
happy for you. I still haven't gotten the invite, so I'm just waiting to see if that.
Well, Nan keeps asking, so we just want to make sure.
Yeah. I talked to my mom about this. I actually think I should announce that you two are not invited, but Nan is. So if she wants to send me a text, I'll arrange for her flight.
That's probably why she was asking.
Yeah.
So much,
she felt
was
awkward
like,
that she was
"Weird,
invited and you
I'm
weren't."
going.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
What is the next one?
Well, maybe it's Kiss of the Spider Woman. Who knows?
That's true.
Could be.
Could be, honey.
You'll have to tune in. Goodbye.
Papa, can you hear me?
Papa, can you hear me?
No.
Lucas, can you hear me? Rita, can you hear me? Thank you for listening to Showgaze, a Cine musical podcast. This episode was edited and mixed by Adam Noecker. This has been an Ampliverse production. You can find the Ampliverse on Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at the Ampliverse. Check out our full roster of shows at theampliverse.com. If you'd like to send us your own takes on the movie we just watched, reach out to us via email, and we might just read it aloud on the show. Our email is showgazemoviemusical@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find the show. And now, as always, the show must go on, so stick around to hear what we'll be watching next episode.
You have been convicted and sentenced to death by electrocution. Any last words? Well put. Pull the switch.
In 1936, a madness swept the teenage world. An evil so insidious, so seductive, that even its name, marijuana, struck fear into the hearts of the citizenry.
Public enemy number one.
Forsooth, fair Juliet.
Are you trying to woo me?
Now, two young sweethearts, Mary Lane and Jimmy Harper,
Hey kid, I'm Jack.
will be caught up in the path of the evil demon weed.
This isn't that reefer I've read about.
All the rage in Paris.
Paris?
And drawn into a seamy world filled with decadence,
What a night. I was in more laps than a napkin.
corruption,
Are you putting on weight?
Lately, I seem to be hungry all the time.
good girls gone bad,
Tonight you and me are gonna break out like the measles.
and some very rude behavior.
Shut up, bitch.
I feel a little naughty.
We'll play with whips and nipple clips and candle wax.
Jack, I saw Satan.
That mug's wound up like an 8-day clock. One too many giggle sticks.
You better put your flaps down before you take off.
That was your tongue. Wait till that Susie Mayberry hears about this.
Kristen Bell, Christian Campbell, Nev Campbell, Alan Cumming, Anna Gasteyer, John Cassier, Amy Spanger, Robert Tordy, and Stephen Weber in the outrageous new feel-good musical comedy of the year, Reefer Madness. Save the country! Madness, 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 Reefer Madness, crazy party! Only on Showtime.